All right, now in this module, we're going to talk about actually creating your image, video, and dynamic ads. Dynamic ads are optional. It's just a way to test. And obviously, image and video is personal preference or whatever you're testing results in to being the better performers. So I want to walk you through the dynamics of each one of those, or I should say the components of each one of those, because they are a little bit different. A lot of similarities, but a little bit different. So in this module, we're going to first cover why you should think of your ad as a funnel and not as a sales page or just a single mechanism trying to make a sale. It's actually a funnel within itself. The 4 levers of an effective image ad. And we'll follow that up with the 4 levers of an effective video ad. And then we'll finish with how to use dynamic creatives to test out new ads and find your winners. So like I've said before, it may seem like a lot, but it's pretty simple and we'll get right to it. All right, before we get into the specifics of image and video ads, we want to talk about the 4 levers of an ad as a whole. It's very important that you realize that your ad has 4 distinct functions within inside of it. Now, the end result of all the ads is the same. It's either to sell the click or to sell the product, depending on if you're running an image or a video ad. However, there's still 4 different components, and if you do not treat these separately, you're gonna struggle mightily to get the end result that you're looking for, specifically at scale. Most people struggle with making paid ads work because they treat the entire ad as one simple thing that's trying to sell their product, and that is a huge mistake. There are 4 levers to an ad, and now these levers are a little bit different depending if you're running a video or an image ad. And we'll go over those separately here in just a minute, but I want to explain what these 4 levers are so that we have a fundamental understanding of these before we dive into the actual specifics of the image and video ads. So first and foremost, we have lever 1, which is the video or the photo. Okay, so that is the first lever that needs to be pulled, and that serves a very specific and distinct purpose in itself. Now, secondly, after that, we have the headline. Again, the headline serves a very specific and distinct purpose that is completely different than the photo or the video, and we'll discuss that as well. Thirdly is the copy or text, as you may call it, which again has a completely different purpose than the photo or video and the headline. And lastly, the 4th lever, which is many times forgotten about and not viewed as a component of the ad, but it's absolutely essential, is the comment section, which again has a completely different purpose than the copy, the headline, and or the photo or video. So we're going to dive in now to how these things play out and what their distinct jobs are for both an image and a video ad. All right, so let's get to it. All right, so let's talk about the 4 levers of an effective image ad. All right, now the first lever of an effective image ad is going to be the photo. All right, if we don't have a winning photo, you can make the argument that the rest of the ad really doesn't matter. Why? Because the objective of the photo is simply to get people to stop. Data and statistics have shown us that today's consumer is presented on average with 4,000 to 5,000 branding images per day. Think about that. Your prospects, the people that you're trying to sell your products and services to, are presented with 4,000 to 5,000 branding images on a daily basis. Meaning, if you want to sell them anything, if you want to give them anything, the first thing that you have to do is get their attention. So we have to make certain that the photo is aligned with that. The purpose of the photo is to cause a pattern interrupt. It is get your prospect to stop. Nothing more, nothing less. Like, that's it. You just need them to stop. It does not have to be congruent with your product or your service. So many people think that their image has to reflect what they're trying to sell. That could not be any less true. It doesn't have to reflect anything along the lines of what you're selling. As a matter of fact, what we have found is native images, images that you would typically just take on your cell phone of family and friends or your life, tend to work better than just about anything. So a couple of things that we need to just clarify is your photo is not trying to sell your product or service. We are not trying to sell it. We're not trying to show how great your product is. We're not trying to show how great your service is. We're not trying to convince your prospect to buy your product by looking at your photo. We are simply trying to get them to stop in their tracks, and which will lead them to lever number 2, which is to look at the headline. All right. Another thing to keep in mind is native images are 8 times more effective than professional images. Native images, what I mean by that is images that you take with your iPhone or your Android. Just you pull out your phone and take native pictures of life happening in real time. The perfect, polished, professional photos literally perform 8 times less effectively than native images. We've split tested this with literally millions of dollars, so I can say it fairly confidently that this will play out the same for you. Using a photo that does reflect the benefit of the benefit will yield best results, meaning the native image, it can be completely random, but it does better if it reflects the benefit of the benefit. Meaning, if you're selling coaching, right, or you're selling a consulting service, well, the consulting service is to help them. Maybe you're selling a service that will help them get more clients, but what does getting more clients actually give them? More than likely, it's going to give them a better lifestyle and more time to enjoy that lifestyle, right? So if your photo reflects someone living a lifestyle where they seemingly enjoy it and they seemingly have excess time to enjoy it, then you're going to have a lot more effective of an ad or a response to your ad than if it was just a random photo of anything. But I tell this story quite frequently. One of the best ad photos that we've ever used has been a image of a golf cart, okay? A golf cart that was on fire, flying through the air over a sand trap. And yes, there was somebody in it. Who the person was, I have no idea. But nonetheless, and the golf clubs were like flying out of it. So this thing was on fire. How this happened, I have no idea. And this was to sell consulting services. So like it has absolutely nothing to do with consulting services. But nonetheless, it was an effective ad. Why? Because it got people to stop, and that is the purpose of lever number 1. The purpose of lever number 1 is to get people to stop. Nothing more, nothing less. Images of using smiling children tend to work incredibly well as well. And remember this: if you're using images of people, which is smart, it's very wise to use images of people again, but not professional photos where everything is staged. That has shown to be 8 times less effective than native images if you just in real life. But if you are going to use images of people, which you should, be very, very aware of where the eyesight of the person in the photo is leading to, because we've used heat tracking software and eye tracking technology that shows kind of where the viewer of an ad's eyes go, what they're paying attention to on the screen. And what we have found is that when someone is looking at an image of a person, their eyesight, the viewer's eyesight, tends to follow the line of sight of wherever the person in the image is looking, right? So it's great if you're going to use that, make certain that the person is either looking down at the headline or up at the copy. Those things, you really want to try to stay away from someone looking directly out at the camera where they would then be making eye contact with the viewer. All right, a couple examples real quick. Again, you'll notice children and benefits of the benefit. All right, so this is Katya, Frank's daughter, and she is in the Rolls Royce Dawn. So obviously the benefit of the benefit is kind of subliminally showing wealth and success. I mean, if you have enough wealth that your 4-year-old daughter can sit in a Rolls Royce and have a good time, then you're probably doing okay. So, but also notice the line of her eyesight is looking to the side and down, so it's not looking directly out at the viewer. This one with Frank. Now Frank is looking directly at the camera, but we do know that children will garner the majority of the attention in an image. So again, if you look in the behind the scenes, I mean, everything looks nice. It looks like Frank is enjoying a lavish luxury lifestyle, which is what our ideal clients are pursuing. Also notice his daughter is there with him. It shows him as a family man. It shows him enjoying his family, enjoying time with his daughter. Also notice her line of sight is looking down, which is where the headline would be. So again, just a couple of images that have tested out very successful for us. This one on the left has, I believe, been our second best performing ad image ever used. So take that and chew on it. All right, so now let's move on to the second lever. Let's go. Here we go. All right. So lever number 2, the headline. All right, this is another big mistake that people make in trying to create an ad. They try to sell their product with a headline. That is not the objective of the headline. The objective of the headline is to flag your target audience, make certain that the right people are viewing your ad, and to, more importantly, generate curiosity. You want people to wonder, like, okay, you want them to wonder, okay, what is this about? What is this? What do they mean by this? You want your headline to generate curiosity. It is not to sell your product. Again, that is not the purpose. You're not trying to tell all the benefits and everything that your product can do for them. You're not trying to get them to go purchase the product based off your headline. You're simply trying to generate curiosity, because when we generate curiosity, we know that then they're going to go to lever number 3. But 2 things, just to clarify, is the headline should accomplish these 2 things: grab the attention of your ideal prospect and generate curiosity. Again, that being the most important. Headlines should be short and easy to read. This is very important. So many times we try to pack way too much into our headlines and make them very long. Think in a text message format. Like if you were trying to write a simple message, think how you would write it in a text message to a friend or to a prospect that you knew very well. You want your headlines to come across in that short, compact time frame. All right. So then a couple of headline formulas that work very well are how to blank, right? How to get clients now. How to get clients fast. That's one that we've used extremely well. How to blank without blank, right? How to X without Y. Another one that's worked very well is how to blank within a specific time frame, right? Or how I accomplished something within a specific time frame. And we can go more in depth into all these and different variations of all these. But the point I want you to get here is these are very short and they're all generating curiosity. So again, if we just take the very first one that I gave you, how to get clients fast, right? It's so simple, but notice that I'm generating curiosity there. So when someone reads that, they don't even know what I'm selling or what the product is. It could be a service. It could be a book. It could be a mastermind. It could be a conference. It could be anything at this point. All I have done is generated curiosity. But here's what happens when you effectively generate curiosity, and this is happening in milliseconds, right? This is happening when people view the image, and if you cause a pattern interrupt, their line of sight then goes directly to the headline to answer the question for them. This is what's happening in their brain. It says, okay, what is this image about? They go to the headline to try to determine or get the answer to the question that was generated about what in the world is this image about. When you generate curiosity in the headline, then the next step is they go to the copy. Now, if you try to answer all their questions in the headline, most of the time you're going to lose them. Right? You're not giving yourself the best opportunity to make the sale of the click or the product because you're trying to fit too much into the headline. The headline needs to only generate curiosity, which will then lead them to the third lever. All right, and the third lever, as we've already talked about, is the copy. All right, the copy is where in the image world, we're trying to do one thing, and that is sell the click. Again, a huge mistake so many people make is they try to sell the product in the copy. You're not trying to sell the product. You're trying to sell the click. The sales page, it's the sales page job to sell the product, right? Or the landing page, it's the landing page job to sell the opt-in. It is not the job of the copy to sell the opt-in or to sell the product. We are simply trying to sell the click. So keep that in mind. You want to generate more curiosity and talk about the benefits of what you have to offer in the copy, but you're not trying to sell the conversion. The purpose of the copy of an ad is to sell the click to the landing page and or sales page. It is not to sell the product. The most effective copy begins with a qualifying or flagging question or promise that is congruent with the headline. And what I mean by flagging question or promise is flagging your ideal prospect, something that only your ideal prospect would respond to, right? So if someone was just looking for, as Frank would use, underwater basket weaving material, and your question says, do you want to know how to get clients quickly? Or do you want to know how to get more clients in the next 7 days than ever before? Right? Well, then they're not going to, that's not going to flag them because they're looking for underwater basket weaving material, right? That question we just asked is not going to flag them. However, the person who is looking for more clients and is looking to get those more clients quickly will be flagged and identified. Notice also the congruency there with the headline. If I use the example I gave just a moment ago of how to get clients fast, that being the headline that generates curiosity. Now the question or the promise that I start off with works. It will work best if it is basically a rewording. You don't want it to be exact, but a rewording of your headline. So if I said how to get clients fast was my headline, then a great question to open up with my copy would be, do you want to know how to get more clients in the next 7 days than ever before? Right? That would be a great question that you could open up your copy with. And then from there, you just lead into dialogue that will speak to the benefits of what you have to offer. All right. So we'll dive transition. Now at this point, one thing that we can do is transition into a story that will work very well. But keep your story short, because people aren't going to sit there. Most people are going to view this on their phone, their mobile device. So they're not going to read a novel on their phone. You want to keep this story somewhat short, but it can be a very, very powerful tactic. A simple way to transition there is just after you ask your flagging question. So let's say the flagging question was something along the lines of, do you need more clients and do you need them fast? I know exactly how you feel. And then right there go into a story about 12 months ago, I was at XYZ place and I needed to accomplish X just to make Y happen, all right? Or something along those lines, and then tell a story. Now, the story should be authentic, but nonetheless, that's a great time and place to transition into a story that you can then share the benefits and the pros and cons and the lessons that you learned, and it gives more credence to what you have to offer. All right, so stories can be powerful, but again, keep them short. Another tidbit, something to consider, is the most common word used in high converting copy is feel. Feel. Like anytime that you can wrap that word into your copy is probably going to convert better. We do a lot of analyzing of the different words that are used in our best converting copy, word counters and word averages and all this stuff. And the word feel every single time is the best performing word used throughout all copy. So I know how you feel, or I have felt like this, and different variations of it as well. But making the prospect feel as though that you can relate to them tends to work very, very well. All right. Placing URLs in multiple places throughout the copy is going to absolutely help you with your conversions. So you should typically have your URL placed in the first 3 to 5 lines, again in the middle, and then again at the very end. All right. And remember to use your UTM parameters, a URL that has your UTM parameters specific for that piece of copy in there. We've talked about that in the previous modules. And here's another last thing I'll touch on writing the copy is using emojis in copy can be highly effective if allowable. And the reason I put if allowable is we've been using emojis in copy extremely successfully for the past few years. However, it just came out in the past couple of weeks that there's a rumor, and I'm not saying there's any credence to it, or I don't know, but there's a rumor that Facebook and Instagram is going to move away from allowing you to use that. So I'm going ahead and put if allowable in this training now. So just make certain that you're staying up to date on the terms of service. If that changes, you certainly want to stay compliant and only do things that are compliant. Last thing you want to do is get an ad denied because you are breaking those terms of service. As of the recording of this video, it is allowable, and we use them just as though in the same way that you would use bolding of words in a sales page, or italicizing or underlining of words. We use emojis in that way. So if you want to use emojis and it's allowable at the point in time in which you watch this training, I would recommend it. All right, so now let's move on to the next one. Lever number 4, the comment section. The long lost and forgotten about, but probably one of the, if not the most powerful aspect of an ad. All right, the objective of the comment section, which so many people do not consider to be a part of the ad, but it most certainly is to build authority and trust and to humanize your brand. Remember that your People buy from people. Your objective is to get them to buy, regardless if you're representing a corporate brand or a service or product. People still buy from people. So you want to humanize your brand as much as possible. I'll tell you who does a great job of this that we're all probably familiar with is go look at Wendy's Twitter account. Go look at whoever manages their Twitter account does an incredible job of this, of humanizing their brand. Dyson Vacuums does the same thing. They do a great job. Wendy's is hilarious. I give them as an example because they go after everybody. Like, they make fun of people. They do it in a respectable way most of the time, but they go after all the competitors, and they make fun of different people, and it's hilarious. But what it does is it humanizes their brand, and it makes people feel more comfortable with them and more likely to do business with them. But here we go. Build authority and trust and humanize your brand. The purpose of the comment section is to close the sale. But remember, we're not trying to close the sale of the product. We're trying to close the sale of the click. Okay, so here's what happens when somebody goes and reads your copy. Let's say your copy is at a 7 or 8 out of a 10, and it got somebody almost to the point of conversion of clicking and going to the landing page, or maybe they even went to the landing page, but they didn't convert and they came back to the ad. That does happen quite often, mind you. When someone does that, the reason they've done that, they're just not quite sold. You've got them almost there. So what do people do? They go to the comment section. It's the same thing as when you go to Amazon and you're looking at buying a product for the first time, but before you buy that product, where do you go? You go to the review section, and you're going to look at the reviews, and you're going to say, oh, okay, what experience has the other people that are more familiar with this brand had? And then you're gonna go through those reviews on Amazon and probably make a decision on whether or not you're gonna purchase or take the next step in purchasing that product. Same thing with an ad. That's what the comment section is. Think of it as your review section, although it's not necessarily reviews, it's just organic engagement, interactions. So here's what you wanna do. You want to close the sale. You want to do that by adding value and coming across as approachable as humanly possible. And when I say value, I mean hold nothing back. You want someone to go to your comment section, and when someone asks a question, they go read your reply to it, and it drops bombs on them. They're like, wow, if you want them to walk away from reading that comment thinking, well, if you will give this much value in the comment section of an ad, they can only imagine the type of value they would get if they actually did a transaction with you. They actually bought something from you, right? That's what so your opportunity to really set yourself apart from your competitors is right here in the comment section. So many people completely ignore the comment section. They don't engage, they don't reply, and they certainly don't add value. Every single ad that you put out should have at least 2 or 3 value bombs in it in the comment section within a week or two. All right, you can't do them right away because you have to wait for people to ask the right questions. But that leads to the next point is try to respond to all comments with an open-ended response. And you also want to tag the person that commented. So you want to respond to every comment. You want to tag the person who commented, and you want to respond in an open-ended way, meaning that you're responding in a way, you're not just saying, hey, thanks, John, for commenting, or thank you for your comment, Susan. No, you're commenting in a way that says, thank you, Susan. What do you think about this? Or, Susan, have you thought about this? Or any type of way that you can create a re-engagement. All right, that's the key word here, a re-engagement. You want the algorithm favors ads a lot in the auction place when your ad's going to get better deliverability all around if people are commenting on your ad, leaving your ad, and then coming back to your ad. So anything that you can do to facilitate that happening is going to dramatically improve not only the deliverability of your ad, but how much you're paying for that deliverability. The more of those re-engagements you get, the lower the cost is going to be for you to get deliverability. So this literally is one of the biggest opportunities to make your entire campaign perform better and to get more sales than, and most people don't even pay it any attention. All right. Also, do not be afraid to ban and delete negative comments. It does not hurt you. It does not hurt your relevancy score at all. And do it in that order. If you delete a comment, well, then you can't ban the person from commenting something else later. So right beside the comment, a negative comment, there's 3 little dots. You click on it, and it'll give you the opportunity to ban that person. You'll ban it, and it'll kind of gray that comment out. And after it's grayed out, then you go and you delete that bad boy, and they are gone and out of your life forever. Do not let the negative comments sway you or hurt you. That is part of it. This part of the internet is part of social media. Everyone has an opinion. It doesn't matter. If they have a negative thing to say, ban them and delete them. It's just that simple. Also, make certain that you comment a CTA, which is a call to action, if you don't know, in the comments with a URL to your landing and sales page. Again, we're trying to make the conversion process as simple as possible. So there will be times when people, they look at your image. All right, your image did its job. It served as a pattern interrupt. People looked at their headline. It generated curiosity. And then from the headline, they went to the copy, the text, to see if it's something that they're interested in. And the text did almost a good enough job to close them. And remember, we have URLs in the text. But now they're like, I don't know. Let me learn more about this person or about this company. So they go to the comment section and they're going to start reading your comments. That is why it's important to have a CTA with a link there in the comments. So they don't have to scroll all the way back up and go to the copy or go find the button. It's right there. You want to make the conversion process as easy and as simple as possible. So we want to make certain that there is a CTA and a comment or a comment with a CTA and a clickable link inside of the comment section. And that's it. So there are our 4 levers of effective image ads. So just to recap, first, we have the image. The image has one singular job, and that is to serve as a pattern interrupt, to get your prospect's attention and to stop. It does not matter if it is reflective of your product or service. It does not matter at all. And just remember, again, I will reiterate that native images work best. Secondly, is the headline. The headline, again, is lever number 2, and it has one job. One simple job, and that is to generate curiosity. Number 3 is your copy. Your copy is not there to sell the product. Your copy is there to sell the click. All right, to sell the click. And then lever number 4 is the comment section, which is there to build authority and trust and to humanize your brand, to make them feel like they're doing business or potential business with someone that they can relate to, that they know, like, and trust. All right, so that's it for our 4 levers of effective image ads. Now, let's dive into the 4 levers of effective video ads. All right, here we go. 4 levers of effective video ads. You're going to see that there are some similarities to image ads, and there are some dramatic differences to video ads. And we're going to start off with the differences right off the bat. First and foremost, lever number 1 is, again, the video, right? It is the first thing that people see. However, the objective of the video is twofold. Number 1 is to get people to stop, and it is to sell the click or the product, okay? So the purpose of the video is twofold: to get them to stop, sell the click, and or the product. The reason being, we're dealing with a completely different dynamic here. Number 1, the first part of the video, we're trying to get people to stop and get their attention. We still have to have that pattern interrupt. So the very first few moments of a video are extremely important. Specifically, the time between the 3 and 10 second mark. That 7-second window is gold, right? You have to be entertaining, you have to be energetic, and you have to be interesting in order to keep people watching your video. Now, your video as a whole, for a pitch ad, for a conversion ad, should never be any longer than 59 seconds. 59 seconds it's either 59 seconds or less, no more than that, if you want to have something that performs very well at scale. Here's the thing, though. You're not just trying to sell the click in this circumstance. If you have like an e-com product, let's say you're trying to sell a mattress. A great example is the company Purple. They do an amazing job of this. The person who runs all of their media is a great friend of mine, and they have mastered selling the product through the video. Now they're also selling the click, and you go to their sales page, and there's still a great sales letter there that sells the product as well. But notice when you're using video, you have 2 challenges. Number 1 is you have to have the pattern interrupt, right? You have to get people to stop for a moment. And secondly, you have to you've got to be able to sell the product, and again, or the click. If you're just selling a webinar or you're selling a strategy session, then you're selling more of the click than just the product. But it really has to take on both components, right? Now, again, the video should be no more than 59 seconds. the most important part of the video is between the 3 and 10 second mark. We need to make certain that we are being entertaining and engaging and relevant to our audience. Also, another thing to strongly keep in mind is you want to embed the captions into the video itself. So go to rev.com, have your video transcribed, and then go hire someone off upwork.com or wherever you so choose to have those transcriptions embedded into the video. If at all possible, I highly recommend not using Facebook's native caption service where you just allow Facebook to put the captions on your video for you. That is the number one reason those captions that Facebook puts on videos is the number one reason that video ads get denied or not approved. So you're going to come out a whole lot better if you'll just take the time to go to rev.com, spend $1 or $2 to get your captions transcribed for you, and then spend 20 bucks or so to have someone embed those onto your video. Probably won't even cost you that. But that's a very important thing to spend the time in doing. Also, remember that your background matters. Let it speak to the benefit of the benefit. So again, the same thing when we talked about image ads, where you want the image to kind of reflect the benefit of the benefit. In the background of your video, you would like that to do the same thing, to speak to the benefit. If it's the lifestyle, if it's the location that speaks to what could be accomplished or enjoyed by purchasing your service or your product. Like if you notice the Purple, if we go back to the Purple, they do an amazing job with video ads. I would highly recommend studying their video ads. They do an incredible job of that. And notice that they also humanize themselves, but they also show the benefit of the benefit. They show people awake and energetic and enjoying life and being happy. Why? Because they got a bed that gave them a good night's sleep. So the benefit of the benefit is having more energy and experience life on a higher level. And their ads do a great job of that. Now, on to lever number 2, the headline. Exactly the same. Flag your target audience and generate curiosity. I won't spend too much time here because this is literally the exact same that it is the image ads. The purpose of the headline is not to sell your product. The headline should accomplish 2 things: grab the attention of your ideal prospect and generate curiosity. Again, that being the most important thing. Headlines should be short and easy to read. Think text message format. Again, it's the same. Headline formulas that work well. How to blank without blank. How I accomplish blank in a specific amount of time. All right. Now, this is different. Lever number 3, the copy for video ads. All right. The copy is dramatically different here. The objective of the copy is not to sell the click. It is push people to watch the video and to provide a CTA, a call to action. The objective right here, what we're trying to do in the copy of a video ad is simply to get people more intrigued and to watch the video. So the same process will happen. People follow the same. If they see the beginning snapshot of a video, let's say they just see the thumbnail or they see the first few seconds, most people are going to look at that first second or 2, or even just a thumbnail of a video, look at the headline, which needs to generate curiosity. Then they're going to go up to the copy to see if this is a video that's worth their time in watching. So you really want to keep the copy very short. All right, it needs to only be 2, 3, 4 sentences really long at length at most. But the copy is simply trying to push them to watch the video and provide a clickable CTA, a link that they can click right there in the copy as well. All right, the video should be a direct pitch touching on the benefits and solutions that your product or service provides. Like this, the video, again, is only 59 seconds long, and it should be pitching your product. Like you're going for a direct pitch, a direct CTA. We're not trying to tell a big long story. You can incorporate a short story if you so choose. But again, this is the main purpose of the video, is to pitch. So there's nothing, and again, that's why it's a video conversion ad. It is there to pitch, not to tell a branding type story. We've got all of our engagement ads for that. The copy, again, should be very short and direct. The copy, like an image ad, leads with a question or a promise, but should be followed by a directive to watch the video. So something along the lines, hey, do you want to get more clients? You want to get, I'm going to go back to the example I gave for the image ads. Would you like to get more clients in the next 7 days than ever before? Question mark. Watch this video now. All right, that's the directive. And then right below watch this video now, you would have learn more on a separate line, learn more, and you would have your link, your link that is clickable to your either sales page or landing page. All right, and again, that's in your second or third line of copy, provide a direct CTA linking to your landing or sales page. So that's it. And notice it's completely different than the image ads, but again, that's because images and videos serve two different purposes. All right, and the last one, again, is the same. The comment section, so important though. Please, please don't fall asleep on the comment section. There is literally a fortune to be made in comment sections around the world that people are just leaving on the table, and it's free. It just takes time. That's all it is. Well, time's not necessarily free, but seriously, like it's right there to be taken. You just got to put in the time and effort to add value. Again, just to recap, the purpose of the comment section is to close to sell, add value, and come across as approachable, not corporate. Try to respond to all comments with an open-ended response. Tag the commenter in your response. Ban and delete any and all negative comments. This does not hurt you. And comment a CTA, call to action, in the comments with a URL to your landing or sales page. And there we go. Those are the 4 levers of effective video ads. Now we will jump into a short training on how to leverage dynamic ads to find your best winning or best performing elements of your winning ads. All right, so now we're going to talk about how you can use dynamic ads to test different elements of your creatives before launching at scale. If you just want to know, get a little bit better of an idea of what is going to actually work as far as which headline, which style of copy, which image. This is a great way to test, and I typically only test within a few ad sets. I don't test all 10 ad sets. You certainly can. It's not necessary to use dynamic creatives if you already have historical data that says, hey, this copy converts very well or this image converts very well. It's not something, admittedly, that we use every single time. We only use it when we're testing a completely new variation of copy or completely new images or a complete new offer. But if that is the case, this is how you would do it at the ad set level. All right, so the ad set level here. Go into this ad set we created, where we created our initial ads, the ones where we weren't using the post ID, but we're using the actual ad builder. So we're gonna go into the ad set first. We're gonna click edit, and there's just one button that we need to turn on, and it's right here. It says dynamic creative, and we'll turn this bad boy on, and we're good to go. Just close this out. Now, with this ad set selected, we're going to go into the ad level, and now you'll see this ad here. Now, here's what we're going to do. Inside this ad, the only difference is you'll notice that we can select up to 10 options of videos. What I have found is that using 4 tends to work best of each element. So what I would do is I would select 4 different images. All right, so let's see here. We got that image. We just for testing purposes, we'll just select these 4. All right, so we've got 4 images. And again, if you want to test more, you certainly can. I'm just telling you what I have found to work best is using 4. Now you have 5 different variations of copy that you can use. But what you're going to do is I would, again, add at least 2, but maybe 4 would be better. So I would just copy this, and I would click add, and then I would paste it. But what I would do is change just a couple of things about the copy. So what is the best way for me to market my business? Whoop, where'd it go? Uh-oh, Facebook's trying to act up on us. There we go. So now I would change this question right here. What would I do? And then I would, again, just changing something extremely simple. Now Facebook's trying to give us trouble. What would I do? Come on. There we go. Again, I would add another variation. Again, the headline. Again, I would have 4 of that. How to create campaigns that sell. I would just try how to get clients fast, right? And then I would add a third variation. And then the link description, if you wanted to add 4 of those, certainly could. I would not recommend testing the buttons, because I can say pretty confidently that learn more works better. But if you've got just a straight e-com product where you're trying to sell, let's say, a purse, maybe one of these other buttons would work a little bit better. But nonetheless, or if it's a restaurant, maybe see menu would work better. You know, certainly test it if you feel so inclined. But nonetheless, this is what you would do. And now here's what would happen is once we have created, I would say, 4 of these, 4 different variations of copy, 4 different images, what we're going to do is obviously publish this bad boy. And then once we've published it, you're going to have a breakdown menu that you can go and see which one of these are performing better after, obviously, you've gotten deliverability and gotten conversions. So let's wait forever and a day for this bad boy to pop up. And what you're going to do is you'll have your dashboard here. And let's say you have your dashboard. This is you're looking at. And by the way, real quick, I'm going to show you how to create a custom dashboard for yourself. Because, for example, you know, this is going to just give you the first initial results that you're optimizing for. But again, we may want to see all the way through a funnel. For example, let's say in the webinar, you know, we have landing page views. We have people who opted in for the webinar. Then we have people who attended the webinar. Then we have people who started the checkout process by going to the order form. And then we have people who actually bought. So there's 5 different steps and 5 different custom conversions that we can create there. And so most people, it would benefit you if you saw all of those across your dashboard. So you would, number one, create a custom conversion for those, like I showed you in one of the very first module. But then once you've created all those custom conversions, you would come down here to customize columns, and you'd click on underneath conversions, custom conversions. And just for example's sake, let's say I was setting up a dashboard for our book funnel, simply because I already have these in here, and it'll be a little bit more extensive of an example. What I would do is I would click view sales page for consulting book, okay, that custom conversion, then add to cart for consulting book, and then did they purchase the consulting book, and then their first upsell, which would be the purchase reframe paid in full, the downsell, which would be purchase reframe 3-pay, and then purchased video black box. So I'd have that in that order, and it's gonna, you'll notice it added them all down here. And now I can change up, I can drag and drop this however so choose. If I want to put relevancy score at the bottom, it's typically how I set mine up. The schedule, you could delete it if you wanted to. Since you have these custom conversions on here, you could get rid of the cost per result. If you didn't want to see impressions and reach and results, you could change that. You could change it around however you so choose. But the important thing is that you have all of your custom conversions set up in a way that makes sense to you. And then you're going to click on Save as Preset, and I'll just name this IBB Test Dashboard. And then you're going to go right over here to Apply. And what you'll see is that we have everything in order. So we can see the conversions of people who viewed the sales page, how many people added to the cart, how many people purchased the book, how many people purchased the paid in full version of Reframe, how many people purchased the downsell, the 3-pay, how many people purchased the video black box, and the relevancy score of the ad. All right, so it's important to have that in place. Now, back to the dynamic creatives or the dynamic ads. How do we see which versions are working and which ones are not? It's really simple. All you're going to do is go right here to this button where it says breakdown, and you're going to notice that this little tab will pop up. Now, if you're not running dynamic creatives, this tab is not going to be there. It's only there when you're actually running them. So buy dynamic creative asset, you'll click on that, and now all you'll do is, let's say we wanted to look at the different images that we're using. We would simply expand this selection. And well, typically it would drop down right now, but maybe either there's a glitch in Facebook at the moment, or because I haven't run any actual money to this thing. I'm just doing this as a test, as a tutorial. But typically when you hit a drop down here, you'll see all the different images or videos that you're using show up, and you can see, again, using your custom dashboard, which one of those images and which one of those videos got the best sales all the way through your funnel. Then you can do the same thing through your text, which part of the copy and same thing through the headline. And if you wanted to, you could do a combination of those. So we could say a combination of, maybe the image and the headline. So you could play with it. I wish it would show up for us right now so I could give you a better example. But nonetheless, if you use this tool and you run some traffic to it, this is a great way to test different elements. And all you're going to do is run a couple of days worth of traffic to it, 2 to 3 days, and see which one of the elements perform best. And then you want to make a traditional ad out of those. So you don't want to continue to run dynamic ads forever. Now, if it's working really well, there's no reason to turn it off. But the purpose of dynamic ads is simply to find out which elements work well together. So what you're going to find is one or two images are outperforming the other images. 1 or 2 headlines are outperforming the other headlines. 1 or 2 versions of your copy are outperforming the other versions of that copy. And so you'll combine those elements into traditional ads that are not dynamic, and then relaunch the way that I've shown you in the previous module with those elements all brought together. So this is just a simple testing method. Again, I apologize that Facebook is being a little wonky on us and not showing us the actual breakdown that I wanted to, but nonetheless, this is a great tool to use in the Facebook platform just to test new creatives and new elements of your creatives, so you can pull together the winning assets and make a winning ad. All right. So that does it for our training on how to launch ads. I hope you have found this helpful, and I hope you can get this put together, get this thing launched today, and start making some money.